My name is Puri, and I have a small hotel company called Nira Hotels and Resorts. And so we do resort hotels and currently do beach and ski resorts. And we also operate some restaurants. We have one Indian restaurant in London, and in the process of doing a couple of more in London also. I think that what Jonathan and Jennifer have started is actually very interesting and very relevant and useful, because we don't have at the moment a forum to be able to get people from the restaurant industry together that's focused on just food and beverage and restaurants. And as we can clearly all see, it's a huge market and a growing market, and we need a forum where we can all get together and exchange ideas. And it's not just about the food, the people that we require to be able to deliver the food and the service and the spaces, but it's also about everything else that goes around it. And sessions that we've had here on design, or sessions on franchising, on sessions on crowdfunding, or sessions on myriad things are really all what come together to be able to build this industry and to be able to grow it. And this is the first ever platform that anyone's ever taken a shot at. We get a chance to meet and interact with some really interesting people, some that are entrepreneurs, some that are in real estate, some that are in finance, some that are in the real operation, the heart of all of this. And so that's why I'm here, and that's why I think that this is a very useful platform. No, wasn't looking for anything in particular, quite honestly, but I was here to be able to see what is going on in the world around me. We're living in a world today that's moving so rapidly, and we're dealing also with a society of millennials and Gen Xers that are so impatient and are also moving so rapidly. It's important to stay on top of it. Whether we talk about social media, whether we talk about a hugely innovative way to be able to raise money, crowdfunding, it's important to be able to understand the dynamics of all of this. And so that was interesting. I think what we did not talk enough about is the product itself. And this is something we need to focus more on. So whilst we talk about real estate, and whilst we talk about finance, and whilst we talk about franchising, and whilst we talk about the commercial element of all of this, at the heart of it are still the people that produce it, the products that we use, and the people that we serve. So I'm going to suggest this to Jennifer, that I think next year we can spend a bit more time on those subjects, because those are also very relevant. But it's really a fantastic platform and a good opportunity to be able to meet people, and certain people that you would otherwise find a very difficult time to be able to connect with, they're here, This is my 42nd year in hotels, so hotels, restaurants, food and beverage, and that's really all I know how to do. I think one is able to appreciate the power of the consumer and the democratization of the opinion of the consumer. Earlier, it mattered, but it didn't matter as much. Today, when you take a Uber taxi, when you get out of the taxi, you rate the driver and the driver rates you. And so we have a lot more C2C communication and C2C and B2C connections and contacts, and so it is much more democratic. That's one. The other one is to be able to see how the consumers are, whilst they still appreciate good quality, they also want to know the source of it. They want to know how has the product and the people that created the product, how have they been treated. There's a much deeper sense of sustainability. So all these are as a result of education, as a result of information, and this makes everybody around a lot more conscious of our responsibility as consumers and growers and producers, and all that is very nice, actually. No, I think that the most important thing is the thing that I really talk about is that whilst when it comes to food, whilst we have the ethnicity of the food from the different regions, because of the advent of frequent travel and travel being still so relatively inexpensive and accessible and reachable, everyone today is a global nomad. And what they can't travel to, they can travel to on their computer. So world cuisine has become modern comfort food. Sushi is no longer Japanese, tom yum is no longer Thai, tandoori is no longer Indian, ceviche is no longer Peruvian. We expect to be able to go to a restaurant and sit with friends and say, oh, let's have a ceviche, and then maybe we can have some tacos, and how about a bit of sushi, and yeah, maybe just a pizza too, you know? And so we're all global nomads, and we want to be able to have everything to be able to enjoy the diversity of flavors and textures and aromas all at the same time. And to be able to deliver that successfully and as authentic as possible is one of the keys to being able to meet the needs of the millennials. And in Asia, it's been done for a long time. You go to a food court in Asia, in Singapore or in Hong Kong, or and you can eat all the different foods because they're all there. So we need to be able to understand that also, how our consumers are no longer, and also I don't think that they're particularly loyal. In your grandparents' age, you would have someone that went to the same restaurant because that was de facto their canteen. Today, that's not the case. The world is their canteen. I think it would help greatly to be able to have those fun environments, where I think part of what I do as a hotel company, Nira Hotels and Resorts, our goal is to be able to awaken and arouse the primordial instincts of our consumers, of our customers, emotionally and spiritually and physically. And I think that feeling the sand between your toes is as primordial as it can be. And the amount of joy that you get from something like that is immense. So I want to be able to develop things and do things that are going to arouse your primordial instincts, and to go to a rum shed and to have a fantastic rum cocktail, but listen to the reggae and feel the sand between my toes, and to be able to have a wonderful nomadic bohemian ambiance, I think is fantastic. Everyone feels well. You feel comfortable and you're having fun and you enjoy. And sometimes these environments, which are a bit too, they're either they're formal or they're classic or they're traditional or they're fancy or they're intimidating. We all want to be able to have fun, Somebody told me that you guys have started doing food trucks here. I don't know, but I bet you that they're fancy food trucks, so they're not real food trucks.
Right.
So I think some of the growth isn't organic. That's the other part of it. When you go to some of the places in the world where some of the stuff is natural and organic, it doesn't feel contrived or doesn't feel, but I think that there's room to be able to do that. And yeah, I'd love to be able to do something like that here.